everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we will discuss regarding the events of sexual reproduction. In last video we had seen in the diverse organisms, though these organisms are different morphologically or with respect to physiology, they share some similarities, and that we had seen regarding the phases of life cycle. Today we will discuss regarding the another feature which is similar in these diverse organisms, and that is the events that take place during sexual reproduction. So these events, sequential events, are in three distinct stages. So that in detail we will see today. So what are the three distinct stages? Those are the events which takes place in these diverse organisms which share similarity during the sexual reproduction. So these three distinct stages are pre-fertilization events, यानी fusion of gametes. Okay, gamete fusion से पहले जो events होते हैं उन्हें हम कहते हैं pre-fertilization events. Fertilization events, that is the fusion of gametes, and third is post-fertilization events, that is after the zygote formation or after the fusion of gametes. What are the events that we will learn? Okay, but first today we will discuss regarding pre-fertilization events, यानी गैमेट के फ्यूजन से पहले जो इवेंट्स होते हैं उनके बारे में इन डिटेल हम डिस्कस करेंगे. So there are two events which takes place in this, that is gamete formation and gamete transfer. That means formation, कैसे गैमेट फॉर्म हो रहे हैं यहाँ पर, और कैसे ये गैमेट ट्रांसफर करेंगे फॉर द फर्टिलाइजेशन और फॉर द फ्यूजन. सो प्री फर्टिलाइजेशन इवेंट्स में फर्स्ट है गैमेटोजेनेसिस. सो व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय गैमेटोजेनेसिस? गैमेटोजेनेसिस मीन्स फॉर्मेशन ऑफ गैमेट्स. ओके, सो यहाँ पर गैमेट्स फॉर्म होते हैं. सो देर आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ गैमेट्स विच आर बीन सीन इन दी ऑर्गेनिजम्स. ओके, in these diverse organisms. So those types of gametes are, first one is homogametes. As the name says, homo means similar. Okay, इन्हें हम कहते हैं isogametes. So there are two names for this, wherein the gametes are similar to each other. For example, cladophora. यहाँ पर हम देखते हैं एक मेल गैमेट है, एक फीमेल गैमेट है, but which is the male gamete, which is the female gamete, we cannot identify it. Why? Because morphologically they are different. Morphologically यानी observable characteristic जो हम observe करते हैं. So अगर हम देखें तो दोनों gametes similar हैं, but genetically they may be different. So one will be male, another one will be female, but both are morphologically similar to each other. So we cannot distinguish between these two gametes. So these gametes are called as homogametes, या हम कहते हैं isogametes. So these gametes, such type of gametes we see in Chlamydomonas, Rhizopus or Cladophora. Another type of gamete is heterogametes. ज्यादातर ऑर्गेनिजम्स में हम देखते हैं डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ गैमेट्स हैं मॉर्फोलॉजिकली, वेरिंग वी कैन आइडेंटिफाई विच इज द मेल, विच इज द फीमेल गैमेट. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल ह्यूमन बीइंग्स, वॉलवॉक्स और फ्यूकस, इनमें हम देखते हैं कि मेल और फीमेल गैमेट हम डिस्टिंग्विश कर सकते हैं. सो दिस इज द फ्यूकस, दैट इज वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल ऑफ algae. ओके, सो दिस इज फीमेल गैमेट विच इज लार्जर इन साइज, एंड दिस इज द मेल गैमेट. ह्यूमन में भी हम देखेंगे ये ओवा या ओवम हम कहते हैं, और स्पर्म सेल. सो हमें ध्यान में रखना है कि स्पर्म को हम एंथ्रोजॉइड भी कह सकते हैं. सो इट डिपेंड्स ऑन विच ऑर्गेनिज्म इट इज. सो इट कैन बी कॉल्ड एज एंथ्रोजॉइड और स्पर्म, और इन सम ऑर्गेनिज्म फीमेल गैमेट्स आर कॉल्ड एज एग और ओवा और ओवम. सो सेक्सुअलिटी इन ऑर्गेनिजम्स की अगर हम बात करें, इट इज नॉट दैट ओनली देयर विल बी टू इंडिविजुअल्स. okay, which will give these gametes. Earlier we had discussed about it. So when we are speaking about sexuality in organisms, there can be one individual, okay, which will give the gamete, or there can be two individuals, okay, which will give the gametes. So यहाँ पर हम बात करें two individual, that means one organism will be male, another organism will be female gamete, okay, female organism which will give the gametes respectively. यहाँ पर हम बात करें one individual, that means only this individual will release the gametes. So in most of the plant species we see, and some of the animals we see that only one individual can have both the gametes, okay, whereas in some organism, most of the animals we see that there are two individuals which will produce either male gamete or female gamete. So we will see in the plants what are these different types of plants where we see these gametes, whether they are present in same individual or in the different individual. So here first one is unisexual flower. As the name says, uni means one, okay, unisexual flower, that means the plants which will have the only one reproductive organ, one type of reproductive organ. Which one? Either it will be male flower or female flower, okay. So those flowers we call it as unisexual flowers. Second is bisexual flowers. As the name says, bi, that means in the plant there are both the reproductive organs that are present. That means they will have male as well as female reproductive organ in same flower. So therefore we call it as bisexual, okay. इन्हें हम hermaphrodite भी कहेंगे, but mostly we use this term hermaphrodite for animals, okay. So the animal which will have both the reproductive organ, male reproductive organ as well as female reproductive organ, we call it as bisexual or hermaphrodite. Monoecious plants. अब यहाँ पर अगर हम देखें monoecious, that means when unisexual flowers are born on the plant, okay, born on the plant, both the unisexual flower, it may be male as well as female plant, okay, female flowers are born on one plant only, we call it as monoecious, okay. Whereas dioecious are the one wherein the unisexual flowers will be present on one plant, one type of flower, male flower, on the other plant female flower will be present, okay. So those we call it as dioecious plants. Staminate and pistillate, इन्हें हम stamens, staminate यानी stamens produce करते हैं, so that will be called as the flower, male flower which will produce stamen, okay, or male gamete is the staminate one. Female flower will be always called as pistillate. Homothelic and heterothellic, यहाँ पर हम बात कर रहे हैं algae और fungi, जहाँ हम they don't have proper plant body as such, okay. In algae we don't see stem, roots or leaves, etc. So in such case we call this body as thallus, okay, thallus. So it can be homo means one thallus, on this one thallus both the gametes will be present, or hetero, that means there will be two thalli, each thallus will have one reproductive type of reproductive organ. So we will see in detail regarding the sexuality in organisms. So first we had discussed about bisexual flowers. We also call it as hermaphrodite. But as I had told you all that this hermaphrodite term is mentioned for animals. So bisexual, as the name says, bi two, that means both the reproductive organs are present in one flower. We can see here these are the stamens. And this is the pistil or carpel. Stamens are male reproductive organ and pistil or carpel is the female reproductive organ. So both male as well as female reproductive organ is present in one flower. So such flowers we call it as bisexual flowers. Now, unisexual flowers are those wherein only one type of reproductive organ will be present in one flower. For example, this is one flower having male reproductive organ. We can see only stamens here. Here we can see only the female reproductive organ which is present, for example, pistil in this particular flower. Similarly, here also we can see that there are either the female reproductive organ or female reproductive flowers, or we can see male reproductive flowers. So based on bisexual or unisexual, again there are two types of plants we should remember here, monoecious and dioecious. Remember, first we have discussed about bisexual, then we have discussed what do we mean by unisexual. Now we are discussing about monoecious and dioecious plant. We see here only one plant is there, but this plant have both the type of unisexual flowers. This is one unisexual flower, this is the other unisexual flower. One is male, another one is female flower. So we see in a plant, when both the type of unisexual flowers are present, we call that plant as monoecious. Whereas dioecious plant are those wherein the male flowers will be present on one plant and female flowers will be present on the other. We can see here female flower present in this plant, okay, and here there are male flowers that are born on this plant. So they are on the different plants, okay. The unisexual flowers are present on the different plants. So these plants we call it as dioecious plants. Now in unisexual flowers, since we know that a flower will have either the male reproductive organ or female reproductive organ. So in this case, the flower which have male reproductive organ, that is the stamens, we call these flowers as staminate flowers because they have these anthers as well as the filament, that is the stamen. Whereas the unisexual flower which will have only the pistil, female reproductive organ, is called as pistillate flower. This also we should remember the term. Now bisexual, for example, sweet potato, these are the flowers of sweet potato or hibiscus. We see that both the reproductive organs are present in one flower. These are the stamen, this is the carpel or pistil. We see here in the hibiscus also, these are the stamens that are present here, and this is the pistil, okay. So those are bisexual flowers. Monoecious plant. Remember now, monoecious, the plant which have unisexual reproductive organ, male reproductive organ also as well as female, okay, in one plant, but they are unisexual. So here we can see antheridium, male sex organ is also there and female sex organ is also there on one plant, born on one plant. Another example we can take of cucurbids, pumpkin. This is the example of a picture of pumpkin wherein male as well as female flowers are present on the one plant. Similarly, maize as well as coconut also we see that they are the monoecious plants. Next is dioecious plants or dioecious flowers. Here the example is of bryophyte, that is Marchantia. These are the male plant, this is the female plant, and we see here there is the anthridiophore, okay, male reproductive organ, and here there is the archegoniophore, that is the female reproductive organ, which are present on the separate plant, okay. So those are called a dioecious plant or dioecious flowers, which we see here. Male plant, papaya, this is the example of papaya. This is the male plant which will bear the stamens, these are the flowers, whereas female plant is separate, okay, wherein the pistil will be present, and later on it will give the fruits. Okay, so we can identify these plants very clearly. Another examples are date palm and mulberry. Those are also coming under dioecious plants or flowers. Now in animals also there are bisexual as well as unisexual organisms. One of the example which is here shown, that is the earthworm. If you see, okay, if we dissect the earthworm, we see that there are the testes that are present, that is the male reproductive organ, whereas, and also there are the ovaries, that is the female reproductive organ. That means in one individual itself both the reproductive organs are seen. So such organisms we call it as hermaphrodite or bisexual. Another examples are sponges, tapeworm and leeches, which we see same type of features. Unisexual flower. Now in your textbook these example is given as cockroach, but there are so many different examples which we can take as unisexual. Human beings are also unisexual animals. Okay, so here we see that there are male cockroaches and there are female cockroaches. So those organisms we call it as, or animals we call it as unisexual. Then homothallic. Now most of the fungus or in algae we see that they can be homothallic or heterothallic. As I have already told, what do we mean by thallus or thallic. So in mucor, one of the example of fungus, there are only one thallus, and on this thallus both the reproductive organs or both the gametes will be formed by that thallus. So that's why we call it as these sex organs are present on the same thalli. That's why we call it as homothallic. Whereas heterothallic, this is the example of rhizopus or bread mold. We see that there are two thallus that are present. Okay, we can see here this is one thallus, this is the other thallus. So here what happens? The organs, male organ will be present on one thalli, female organ will be present on the other thalli. So this is also the example of heterothallic. Hetero means different thalli, the gametes are present. So this was regarding the sexual or sexuality in organism. We have discussed all these points, and we have to know that these points are very, very important. Now we'll see how, for the gamete formation, how cell division takes place. So we should remember, as we had discussed earlier, that there can be one individual which can give rise to gamete, or two individual which will give the gametes. Okay. So for the cell formation during the gamete, that is the gamete formation, there are two types of cell division we should remember. But before that we will see, I just show here, this is one individual, this is the other individual, male and female. Okay. Now these individuals are diploid. Now what is the meaning of diploid? They have two sets of chromosomes. Okay, in their cells there are two sets of chromosomes. So one is male, another one is female, both are diploid. In one more case we will take, wherein male and female organism, but these are haploid, 1N. Okay, 1N means only one set of chromosomes are present in their cells. Okay. Now how gamete formation will take place in both type of organisms, that we will see. We had already seen that diploid organism, where two sets of chromosomes are there, they will undergo meiotic division or meiosis, right? Okay, wherein this meiosis is also called as what? Meiocytes. We call them as meiocytes. Okay, so these meiocytes are diploid at present because they have not undergone meiotic division. So after the meiosis, they will give rise to the gametes. So male individual will give rise to male gamete, female individual will give rise to female gamete. We also call them as sex cells, okay, or gametes, right? So after the meiotic division, it is also, since it is called as reductional division, that means number of chromosomes are reduced to half. Here there will be only one set of chromosome in each gamete. So gametes will be always haploid. We have to remember that gametes will be always haploid and not diploid. Now we'll move on to these individuals. Now since these individuals have already half the number of chromosomes or one set of chromosomes, that's why it won't undergo any meiotic division, but it will undergo mitotic division or mitosis. Okay, they will undergo mitotic division. So since it is mitotic division, the number of chromosomes will be same. So therefore, the gametes that will be formed will be also haploid. So as I have said, gametes will be always haploid and not diploid. So this way, these gametes will later on fuse, okay, and give the zygote, which will be actually diploid. So here what happens? Female gamete and male gamete will fuse together to give the zygote, which is diploid. Okay. Here also male and female gamete will fuse together to give the zygote, which is diploid. Okay. So a haploid parent produce gametes by mitotic division. For example, in Monarans or kingdom Monera, we can say, okay, algae and fungi and bryophytes, we see such type of division. So they undergo mitotic division. Whereas diploid parent, here are the diploid parent, produce gametes by meiotic division, that is meiosis. Okay, and it happens in pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms and the animals. So this meiosis, when we are speaking about, it is classified into 3 types on the basis of stages. That means based on what type of organism, based on that meiotic division will take place. Okay. So we'll see in algae it is called a zygotic meiosis. For example, if we consider this is an example of algae. Okay, and most of the algae we see that the parents are haploid. So in algal family, since the parents are haploid, it will undergo mitotic division, okay, and release haploid gametes. After the fusion of gamete, we have seen here, this is the zygote that is being formed. So this zygote will undergo meiotic division. Okay, the zygote will undergo meiotic division and it will give an individual. So हम देखते हैं ये भी individual अभी haploid हो गया because it has undergone meiotic division. So that meiosis we call it as zygotic meiosis, which occurs in algae. Second is sporic meiosis. So in the plants, since there are the flowers, male reproductive organ which is called as stamen, female reproductive organ is called as pistil. So in these anther or in the stamen or in the pistil, that is in the ovary, what happens is there will be some spores, mother cells will be present, and these spores, that is megasporangium and microsporangium, later on in the next chapter you all will be studying in detail about it. So in plants there are spores, special spores that are present, and these spores will undergo meiotic division. Okay, so in plants that is sporic meiosis, whereas most of the animals, they have specialized reproductive organ, okay, including human beings, wherein there will be gametic meiosis which will take place, which will release the gametes. So specialized reproductive organ which are present in the animals. So these are the three types of meiotic division which occurs based depending on what type of organism they are. So at the end of meiosis, what we see, only one set of chromosome will get incorporated in each gamete. So we should remember that they are always haploid. एनसीईआरटी की टेक्स्ट बुक में हमने देखा ये कॉलम दिया हुआ है टेबल, and there are some fill in the blanks which have been shown. So you have to find out the haploid or diploid number of chromosomes. So as we have discussed already, I will take only one example, housefly, that is meiocyte, which is always diploid, we have discussed here. Okay, so if housefly, the meiocyte is, that is diploid cell has 12 chromosomes, how many will be there in the gamete? Definitely half the number of chromosomes, that will be 6. So like that you have to find out and fill this table. Next part is gamete transfer. So up till now we have discussed about how gametes are formed. Now we are going through how they have been transferred, okay, from one reproductive organ to the another. Okay. Usually most of the organisms we see that male gametes are motile. That means they can move from one place to another. Whereas female gametes are non-motile or stationary. They will be formed at that particular region only, they will be present. They won't be able to move. But in some algae and fungus, we see that both the gametes have flagella. So that means they both are motile. In this case, both the gametes can move, since they have motility, and there will be zygote formation and new individual can be formed. But what about those gametes which are stationary? In that case, that is the water which play a very important role here as a medium to transfer these male gametes. It usually happens in the algae, bryophytes or pteridophytes, which require the water as a medium for the locomotion. So in this case, what happens? Male gametes that are released from male reproductive organ, and it will be transferred through the water to the stationary egg, and then there will be fertilization which will take place. But as they move from one part to the another, there are so many gametes which will be lost or damaged, or they are not able to reach to their destination for fertilization. That is the reason there are numerous male gametes which have been released. So number of male gametes are more compared to female gametes, just because they are lost on the way, okay, during the transfer. Now how in the plants gamete transfer will take place? Earlier we have seen in lower organism the gamete transfer which is taking place. In the higher plants, that is in the flowering plants, what we see, that we already know there are the stamen as well as carpel. Stamens have anthers, these are the anthers, and inside the anthers there are the pollens which will be formed, pollen grains, we call them as pollen grains, and these pollen grains have male gamete. Okay, so these pollens will fall on the stigma. Okay, you can see here pollen grains fall on the stigma and they will form a tube. This yellow structure which you can see, they form a tube. Okay, and that tube will carry the gametes. Okay, this tube will carry the gamete and enter into the ovule, and this and the ovules are present in the ovary here. So that is the female reproductive part. So inside in the ovule it will go enter and fertilization will take place. So it happens either in one flower, directly the stamens will fall on the stigma, but sometime when suppose same the anthers which are suppose pollen grains should be transferred on the other flower of the same species, that time they require the medium. So here medium will be abiotic or biotic. For example, water, it may be for hydrophytes, or aquatic plant it is water. Through water the transfer will take place of the male gametes, or it may be in terrestrial, it may be through wind or through the insects. Okay, so there are various means by which the transfer of these pollen grains will occur, and that process we call it as pollination. So it can be self-pollination or cross-pollination in the plants. In human, it is very complex, wherein we see the gamete transfer, it is through the copulatory organ. Okay, so there are the ovaries which will release the ova, and since it is stationary, the sperms or the male gametes will transfer through the vagina into the uterus, and the fertilization will take place in these tubes. Okay, so there are special reproductive organs, copulatory organs, which are meant for the gamete transfer in humans. So up till now we have discussed about pre-fertilization events, that is how the gametes are formed and how they are being transferred. So the key points which we should remember from this topic are types of gametes. What are the types of gametes and their examples? Examples are very, very important here. Remember all the terms and the examples without fail. And third, what and how questions should be asked for each topic which we have discussed today. So after the next this topic, we shall be learning about how the fertilization takes place in our next video. I hope you all must have understood this. So we'll soon meet for our next video. Thank you.